Live from the Injured on the Go Just Call Mo studio.
It's a blast!
It's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We're live on Twitch and we're live on YouTube. Come hang out. We've been adding all kinds of brand new videos on there. Tons of people have been joining us. The YouTube channel is just...
SJ has done an unbelievable job on our YouTube channel.
Yes.
And the amount of work he's put into it, the way it looks, it's
Beautiful.
super polished. I like it.
Yeah, on Fridays, if you love watching or listening to our Friday Free Show, there's a bunch of little Easter eggs that he adds in there. He puts a lot of custom work into the video, and we can't thank him enough. Thank you, buddy, for making us look really, really good. So just head on over to YouTube and search for @TomandDanLive.
From the Orlando Talk Show, Ross McCoy is here. How you doing, Ross?
Hey, guys.
That's the best one you've done.
Oh, is it?
That was really good.
That was pretty good. That was a pretty good one, too.
I got jazzed up for me.
Yeah, you didn't even make it awkward.
Yeah. Only took me 15 years.
Well, you got it.
Yeah, that's
Well,
fine.
you got it. Better late than never.
You're going to
right?
need a drummer to beat that one.
So let me explain.
I've much wanted a cymbal and a stick in here for many, many years, but he won't let me get
Startled that you don't have that.
The only news stories I get is from the social media because I don't consume any like news programs or anything.
Yeah.
But my social media, when I'm scrolling, it'll show me news stories, and then that's how. And then I'm like, oh, this happened or whatever, you know.
A lot of news stories about young girls in clown makeup for some reason.
and then all of a sudden a news story pops up over the weekend. Mark Sanchez in the hospital from a stabbing.
Yeah, that's not, man, that popped up in the garage. I was in the garage with my wife and daughter trying to decide what we were going to do for lunch. You know, we're deciding on, are we going to go to Big Dave's Cheesesteaks and try that out? That's a new one. I haven't tried that.
Yeah.
And then it came through. It's like he's in at first it said he's in critical condition.
Yeah.
What is this, like a Last Boy Scout scenario where somebody on the field pulled out a knife and stabbed him? Like,
No, it was more like a him scenario where it was like a demonic, satanic presence and a council of beings, a council of rich billionaires.
I'll explain. Mark Sanchez, former NFL quarterback.
Mark Dirty Sanchez.
And is current analyst for the NFL. But he hasn't played in a while. 38 years old, still a big dude. When I saw that story, I was like, oh, maybe it's a Ricky Pearsall scenario. Someone tried to rob him or something. You know,
I can see that.
He's traveling around as an analyst in the NFL.
Got a nice watch on.
Yeah, something like that. You know, maybe try to get, you know, because they get former NFL player, current analyst, celebrity getting stabbed. I'm thinking robbery scenario, right?
Because when I'm out there to rob somebody, I look for giants.
yeah, you're right. He's a big dude. And so then I see another, like Mark Sanchez, stabbed and going to jail. And I'm like, whoa, like, this is weird. He's going to jail.
Yeah.
And then like
Guess
charged.
a lot to be stabbed these days.
And like,
here's the quote. It says, Sanchez is still in the hospital and will be booked into the adult detention center. Like, this dude is, they're going to, as soon as he gets out, he's
straight
going
to jail.
He's going to jail.
And so then I'm like, what? And it's like in a parent battery case or whatever. So I'm like, wow, that's weird. So then immediately I was like, domestic dispute, right? So like, because that's
football
the other,
player, goes football player.
Yeah.
Fair,
Like,
yeah.
This guy's got a ton of testosterone.
Like, remember,
his wife stabbed him. It was self-defense.
like, remember when Tiger Woods' ex-wife was hitting him with the golf club?
Well, she bashed out the windows of his SUV with a golf club.
And,
Right.
and then
as he drove away.
Hitting a car, not him. A car.
Yeah. But it could be maybe like you get in a fight with your old lady, things get out of
You
control.
ever thrown anything at your old lady?
She stabs you.
That's not your style.
No.
Has she ever thrown anything at you?
I've never even raised my voice to Crystal.
We got to change that. This year that changes.
How
This year
crazy is that?
changes. Yeah. In 2026, I want you to yell at her one time. A medium yell.
No.
Just a medium. Like, I can't handle it.
Never raised my voice.
Me and my wife had a fight one time where between the two of us, we broke every plate in the house.
No, really? My God.
Yeah, you know what that is? After that, that's the sex. After that is amazing. Like, literally amazing. The sex. You guys are kissing each other like you've never kissed each other
crockery
before.
shards,
Oh, my
yeah.
God.
That's
You're connected for life after that sex, man. After you've broken everything in your house and you're boofing on top of a pile of plates.
We had really nice plates too.
So I'm like,
Sometimes you just got to get it out, man.
he got stabbed. He's going to jail. Domestic violence.
Yeah.
I'm like that. And then the
I
story.
like how you, instead of reading the story, just make it all up.
Well, that's what he always does. This is what he'll look at it and be like, I know what's happening here.
That's what the world does. I don't have time. But you know what the problem is? Reading the article, I have to get through 10 X's of Xing out the damn ads.
The pop-up.
All the pop-up
I'm doing
ads.
that right now.
And then
I'm trying and get you the details.
I gotta subscribe to the Wall Street Journal to read that. I'm not doing any of it. I'm just gonna make up the story in my head.
Here, want me to read it to you?
Yeah.
IMPD was investigating a physical disturbance that happened near Senate Avenue and West Washington Street on October 4th, 2025, around 12:30 a.m., the statement said. The incident involved 2 adult males, resulting in one man receiving lacerations and the other sustaining injuries consistent with stab wounds. Detectives believe this was an isolated incident between the 2 men and not a random act of violence.
So it turns out, after reading the story, and I'm sure a lot of people maybe read it, but nowadays with the media, things get out so everybody wants to get it out the quickest.
So it doesn't matter if it's accurate.
Yeah, it's also incomplete. The full story isn't out, so you only get little snippets.
Used to wait. We used to wait.
Sure.
Don't print that yet because we want to get the full story. Now we're like, I can't wait. I'll make it up. You're the journalist.
Well, the world is full of me, and that's going to be bad. Real bad.
I like you.
So the story apparently is Mark Sanchez late at night. Now he's traveling because he's an analyst in the NFL.
Right.
So he's calling a game the next day. This happened on Saturday night, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And
he's got to work on Sunday.
And he says, I got a story here that has him and some witnesses' statements. His official statement is that all he could remember was, quote, grabbing for a window, end quote.
Yeah, because
that's all he remembers.
Because you're an alcoholic, you're waiting on your Uber Eats, you're trying to hassle off a hamburger, and you ended up stabbing an old man who didn't have his hearing aids. You stabbed a deaf old man, you monster.
No, he didn't. The old man stabbed him.
No, but he beat the old man up first. The old man was defending himself, but he threw the old man without hearing aids against a wall.
So,
have you seen the old man's face?
I did, and I can't even understand how he got a laceration like that on his cheek. I guess he threw him against a dumpster.
It looks like he threw him at a dumpster.
So apparently, Mark Sanchez late on Saturday night was waiting for some Uber Eats, wasted, blacked out, drunk.
Well, the Uber Eats part is not confirmed. I've read that in a couple stories. A couple other stories, he was just in the back alleyway between the Westin Hotel and another hotel while this old man was collecting grease.
Yeah, and so this old guy in a truck was collecting grease from, I guess, the hotel restaurant. An altercation happened between this old man and Mark Sanchez.
Well, it's confirmed that apparently Mark Sanchez spoke with the manager of the hotel, and there's some confusion, but it's like Mark Sanchez was trying to police the alleyway for the manager of the hotel. There are confirmed reports that Mark Sanchez was telling this old man in the truck, hey, your truck can't be here.
Yeah.
I'm like, Mark Sanchez, you work for the NFL.
You're a millionaire.
What are you doing? Go back to your hotel room and lay down.
Yeah. So apparently, he's, Daniel said he's had a drinking problem for a little bit. At least other situations
I'm
have
just
happened.
saying in 2006, I mean, the reason he got yelled at because of that little, SA, type deal that he was getting into wasn't necessarily that he sexually assaulted somebody, but they definitely got him on underage drinking. So that was 2006. He's been drunk for a long time.
Well, I mean, it would be hard for him to be an alcoholic in the NFL, at that high of a level.
I don't know.
But maybe he just, once he got out and once he could start drinking, it's...
You think it'd be hard to be an alcoholic working 1 day a week?
No, he's saying while he was playing in the NFL.
No, I'll hear there are probably zero alcoholics in the NFL.
I love there are probably zero. The probably is the one I like.
Or just
if you were that confident, you'd say there's none.
Yeah, it would just be nearly impossible.
There's got to be one. There's one.
I tend to agree with you just because they can probably afford better drugs.
Yeah.
Well, Matt Bryant, I feel like towards the end of
testing.
his kicking years, he definitely could have been an alcoholic.
A kicker could have been.
Yeah. I think Alcoholic Kicker is a movie. That's a Danny McBride movie.
Yeah. But anyway, so he gets in this altercation, and the old man stabs Mark Sanchez. First, he pepper sprays him.
I have a police breakdown of a video if you want to hear it. So this video, it's kind of a mix between the whatever this reporter is for the Indy Star and a police spokesman. So video shows Sanchez approaching the driver's door of a large box truck in an alley. He opened the door, began a conversation with the man who was struggling to understand because he wasn't wearing his hearing aids, he told police. Video shows the two have an interaction at the driver's side door after Sanchez follows a man who is seen walking backwards away from him. Sanchez is seen running after the man, and video shows Mr. Sanchez grabbing and throwing the man towards the wall of the Westin Hotel. Fight continues in the alley between a large dumpster and the truck before moving to the middle of the alley. So they got a whole like
this is like a video game.
Yeah, it's like a cartoon. They're in a big,
this is like Double Dragon video game. You're fighting in an alleyway with a dumpster.
They're in a big cloud of dust.
River City Ransom.
Hands punching out. Mr. Sanchez is then seen throwing the man to the ground on the west side of the alley. The man told police he reached into his pocket and pulled out pepper spray and sprayed Sanchez.
Can you pause for 1 second? It's got to be really fun if you're as big as Mark Sanchez to toss around a dumb old man. I just want to say that it's got to be fun, right? You're like, oh, take this. Yeah. I mean, like a bullfighter.
The guy's 69. Mark Sanchez is 38. Former NFL football player. Yeah. He's like six. I mean, he's got to be 6'4", 6'5",
and not just a schlub. He was a good.
250.
He was good.
Oh yeah.
When my kids were littler, my favorite thing was like get up on the bed and wrestle them. You know, where I'm a giant and they're little and I can just toss them around. Like, imagine that with real stakes. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, man. And I think we should all wrestle old men in the alleyways.
And then what after
pepper sprays them, but the former NFL quarterback just wiped it away. The man thought, this guy's trying to kill me, so he pulled out his knife, and when Sanchez came at him, the man struck him 2 or 3 times with the knife, he told police.
Wow.
The man said Sanchez looked at him with a look of shock, slowly turned around, and took off northbound in the alley. Arriving officers found him inside the bar next to the alley.
I just went to the bar.
Got stabbed and went to get a drink.
Who, Mark Sanchez?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's confirming my suspicions of alcoholism.
That's that's a real man,
dude.
you beat up some old man, you get stabbed, and you go to the bar.
And stabbed.
Yeah.
That stuff doesn't just go away.
I've been drunk and pepper sprayed as a jackass bit in the first stunt, and it is hard to function. Like, we did a pepper spray boxing match. And even though, like, you crumble, like, you can't see, you're snotting, your face
is the snot, yeah.
Yeah.
You start mucus. Your mucus is like trying to flush it out by producing more.
And it's not like you could real man just fight through it. I mean, your sinuses and your eyes.
Mark Sanchez can. You can't. But Mark Sanchez.
You're right.
He went to the bar. You need to drink more. You've been cutting back on your drinking. What if alcohol was the cure to pepper spray?
So
unconfirmed in the chat room. TTV no number 1 Buckeye 23 says the old man sprayed Mark with pepper spray. We do know that, but he's saying there's unconfirmed that Mark Sanchez is saying his drink was spiked.
Oh, of course
you gotta say that.
Well, you're a lawyer. You call your $1 million lawyer. You just start coming up with anything.
You gotta do the ditty.
Yeah. You would say that it's someone spiked my drink with a gallon of rum.
That's one of my favorite jokes you've ever said.
But guess what, Sanchez? No one spiked your drink. You blacked out, and you were blacked out, and you had probably the fact that you were even questioning something that is none of your business means that your personality is probably a D-head, like overly controlling, like wanting to police people.
Yeah, like this old man shouldn't be doing this, so I'm going to fix the problem.
Yeah. And then if you're an alcoholic with that personality, like all it takes is one random incident, like the perfect scenario.
It's a hook for you then, right?
Like
you're addicted to it.
Sanchez could have gone his whole life without going to jail because one of these incidents didn't happen. But this did, and it was the perfect storm for altercation that ended in you getting stabbed and pepper sprayed and going to jail now for battery. It's like all this didn't need to happen, of course. And but your personality, especially when you're blacked out, your true personality sometimes comes out, and you're like, hey, let me go see what this old man's doing. Like, yeah,
I'm gonna beat up this old man because deep down inside, I hate myself so much that I'm gonna beat somebody up tonight.
Also,
there are people like that.
The fact that you can get that drunk and then the next day, I guess the game is probably a 1 o'clock game, but yeah, that's pretty impressive that you could be that hungover and call an NFL game.
I'm not saying. Well, they did replace him for yesterday, so he didn't do anything yesterday.
No, of course,
but this can't be the first time.
Most viewed football game in the world ever if he does it from the hospital bed stabbed.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, right?
But could you imagine you going and doing a broadcast the next day at 1 and you're that blacked out?
Yeah,
it's
just go puke a few times.
I mean, I can. I used to do morning radio. Like I'd call me. I roll it. I'd set everything up. I'm running the whole board. It's not my best work, but I did it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll keep us on the air.
I got news for you. I'm pretty hungover right now.
I know.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but doing this good, we're just all BSing. I was like being on TV and having to know players' names and like call a football game. I guess if he did it all his life,
it's easy for him. Man.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. I bet you he does all of them hungover.
Yeah. You're right.
I mean, why wouldn't he?
Probably couldn't do it without being hungover.
Now there's something to that too. So what happens here? I mean, obviously this old man sues the pants off of him, right?
Let's go back to, because I know you don't believe in roofies, Tom, but like there are documented cases of like dudes maybe out with like a nice Rolex on, and somebody slips him a Mickey and follows him home and steals their watch or their wallet or whatever. That's on the record. That has happened.
Yeah.
It happens. What if like we get some video where like somebody drops something in this guy's drink?
Oh,
and
you
then,
got video of it, yeah.
I mean, every bar is video recorded now, so like they just got to, and then he ends up in the hospital minutes later. They're gonna do a blood test. If some Rufinol or something shows up in his blood, do we give him a pass?
Oh, if he got roofied and it shows up in his blood, like Heat Up BDM in our Twitch chat room says, my old boss said his drink got spiked by a young kid. My boss stole a police car. Yeah, I think that's what you say when you do dumb things. You say my drink was spiked.
Yeah.
I one time said my drink was spiked at Club La Vila when I went up to Real Radio Studios. I ran the Monsters Best Of, completely out of my mind, hammered, like still drunk, and I gave away Fatboy Slim tickets.
Yeah.
And here's the problem: we didn't have any Fatboy Slim tickets to give away, but I was giving them away live on the air.
Yeah, not that it's never happened. I'm just saying it probably happens way less frequently than people make excuses for your drink is spiked.
Sure.
That's all I'm saying.
Right.
And
right.
now, but you're right. Now with video evidence, they can go back and look at the bar on the video and be like, here's your drink. No one's by it the whole night. And then there's you beating up an old man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, here's you ordering 15 drinks and drinking them all.
And here's
then,
you walking into the alleyway waiting for food. And here you are throwing a small little old man. He's a little old man.
I mean, there's video.
Slight.
Like, there's some, video of it.
I've been looking for that all morning.
And so it's like, and then even, maybe even if your drink did get spiked, it's kind of also like you still beat up an old man for no reason. Like, it doesn't totally excuse your behavior. Like, maybe it helps you not get as penalized, but still, it's like no matter how effed up you are, it shouldn't give you any excuse to go and like beat up an old man that was, that had nothing to do with anything that you were doing.
Can we go back to the old man for a second? Because I do have a gripe with him. You're collecting grease and driving a truck. Where are your goddamn hearing aids? I'm serious. You got to have your hearing aids in, man. You just got to do it. And you take some responsibility for that.
Here's the problem with that.
You got to have your hearing aids in.
Is that
it's dangerous.
If your truck's loud, maybe you don't want those hearing aids in.
Doesn't matter what you want.
Yeah, but it's
unsafe to drive with no ears, Tom. It's unsafe.
You could drive deaf.
I don't think you can. Look, even if
the
you
blacked
can,
out Mark Sanchez is waiting to beat you up.
even if you can, this is maybe a hot take. I'm anti, because I feel like you need your ears. What if I'm like, hey, move your car, help, and then you're just like, ain't fine.
You can legally drive deaf.
No, I think we need to change that, and I think we will this year.
No.
We've been making a lot of changes.
He's been doing his fine. If Mark Sanchez isn't waiting to beat you up, then you never had a problem.
It's like, too dangerous. Is it the only one you can hear? Is it the only, you can't drive blind, obviously, and you can drive without legs and arms. We know that.
Yeah.
You don't need taste to drive.
No, don't need taste. You don't need hearing. Eyes is really the only one you need.
It's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could drive.
You guys want to live in that world? That's fine. But I feel like it's very dangerous. Very dangerous.
So this,
what's the difference between this guy driving deaf and me driving, listening to The Weeknd at like 50 on my stereo? You know, like there's no difference.
That's an excellent point. That's an excellent point. I don't feel like you should either be allowed to do that. I want to start taking away some liberties.
So they released the picture because at first when I came in here this morning, like no picture of the guy the old man that got beat up was released. So I was gonna come in here defending a monster and defending Mark Sanchez. I was like, well, okay, well, you got thrown up against a dumpster, but you stabbed Mark Sanchez multiple times and you pepper sprayed him.
Excessive force, man. Good God.
In my mind, I was like, I think even Steven, you got thrown up against a dumpster, you get to stab a guy a couple times, pepper spray him. He's gonna
call it a night.
He's gonna lose his NFL career, and then it's done. Like, and no one has to go to jail.
Right.
But then I saw pictures of him, and he's got a gigantic cut on his cheek through his mouth.
Yeah,
it went
cut his cheek open.
and then it went into his tongue, and I was like, how the hell did he get cut in his face that bad? He must have they cut himself in the dumpster, or in the stabbing, he cut himself with his own knife or something, but
Yeah.
he looked rough.
And his family got in front of it fast, which seems to be the way that you do things, right? So what do? You go to the hospital. You take the pictures of the old man. Because EJ's right. In our Twitch chat room, EJ's saying, for the first 10 minutes, everybody was you. Everybody was like, oh, my God, poor Mark Sanchez. Why would somebody stab him, right? For the first 10 minutes, we were all like, oh, my God. And then you start reading the story, and you're like, oh, wow, this is a...
Because you can't even comprehend, this guy, a super successful former NFL player, analyst, that's a millionaire, getting, in an altercation for zero reason with a guy that had nothing to do with you, and then beating him up, and then the guy having to stab you to stop
get you off.
It's like,
Yeah.
that would be, we can't even understand or comprehend why this happened.
And the old man's legal team, they take the photos. I mean, they get those teed up and ready to go last night, midnight, boom. And they
he deserves it.
Well, just like
he deserves whatever financial lawsuit happens after. Mark Sanchez deserves whatever punishment. It's all. It's because it's like this all could have been prevented.
Are we kicking around legal stuff? Can I throw another thing out there that is legal and it's interesting? You saw that they reopened Stardust Racers Saturday night.
I did see that, yeah.
And the family of the gentleman who passed away on Stardust Racers, and maybe we should call Mo, and maybe that's a better question for them.
Was he deaf and he was riding the Red Deaf?
He was riding the Red Deaf. And, no, it was they reopened it Saturday night, and it was interesting because they interviewed people on the news. They were like, "What'd you think about it being reopened?" And everybody was like, "Yay!
Right.
Yes, I'm run. Like, what? It's open by." Like, they're running out. Everybody was we're in. Like nobody was like, "Oh, I think this is a little too soon," or "This is bad," or not even one. Not one.
That line was packed full of dads like elbowing their
2
kids
hours.
like, this is the death coaster,
Do
son.
you know as soon as they opened it, they had to wait for 2 hours.
Yeah,
I had to look that up.
Wow.
2 hour wait.
Yeah. So I'm guessing
the family thinks it's disrespectful. They wanted them to keep it closed until they were able to access it with the people that they had lined up to do their investigation. I guess I can sort of see that, like, hey, let our guys go in and do their investigation. Universal's claiming, hey, this is working all properly. They did change something, too, and I called this, so I did get one part of this right. One part I got horribly wrong. I said it'll never function again. I was wrong about that. Saturday night, they fired that thing back up. But here's the other part I did say would happen. They are no longer allowed to assist you into the ride. If you can't get in, you don't ride. That's the change.
Okay.
And I told you they're going to tighten things. I told you they were going to tighten it because it's like now it's like they used to be able to sort of assist you, like help move your thing away and then help get you to the edge, and then you can like use your upper body strength to get in. Now, if you can't get from your assisted scooter to the ride, you're not riding.
Interesting.
That kind of stinks for
It does.
people that have disabilities that want to ride that ride.
It's not fair. They should be allowed to ride it.
And then it's like, how much, like, let's say if I'm in a wheelchair and then I'm like, do I have to? They're like, I'm sorry, I can't help you. Do I have to then crawl onto the floor and then pull myself up? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I would watch that.
And they can't.
I would watch
they're
that.
like, I'm sorry, legally I cannot assist you.
Yeah.
And then you're like, please, just lift my legs.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna make it.
So it stinks for the people that can't physically get on, that want to ride it, because this could just be a complete anomaly, and it just a 1 out of 100 million that this person died. Who knows? It's like,
what if it was the whole like?
I mean, it seems like they wouldn't have opened the ride back up if they found any danger at all to anybody, right?
Well, I mean,
because they would be.
I agree with
imagine
that.
if this happened again. You could.
Well, if it happens again, it's done.
You'd have $100 million lawsuit or something, like some ridiculous thing that we've never even seen before.
Well, my question for Mo, and maybe, and just remember that this is my question, so we can ask him when we do talk to him. The family is claiming that by reopening it, you are hindering their ability to gather what they needed to gather for their case. What do you guys think about that?
I don't know. I don't know the specifics of what they're trying to even get. It's like that's a. I could see that statement, them saying that, but then I could see the other side of like what else, like what other evidence, like we've had it closed.
What more do you need?
I don't know.
Right,
what,
right.
If Universal's been in there, and they more than anybody don't want people dying on this ride, like that's the last thing they
never
want.
did. I mean, it's a ride. Yeah.
So they're getting in there and making determinations to make sure that never happens again. And then they're whatever the state regulatory agency is over roller coasters and stuff, they've been in there too, right?
Yeah, they, and a third party. They had an independent come in, so it was Universal themselves, whoever the state governing body of that particular area has been in there, and then apparently Universal hired a third-party independent roller coaster, whatever you call it, an investigator or a safety expert.
So at that point, what we're supposed to wait for you to hire like a fourth roller coaster detective to come in and investigate? Like it seems like they've probably done their due diligence.
SJ is saying if OSHA and the state did not sign off, it would not be open, and OSHA is not easy. So I agree with all of that.
I mean,
and I feel for the family. The whole thing is like super duper tragic, man. It's really, really bad, and I can only put myself in the shoes as a sensitive person. It would not fly for me. It's open again. That doesn't fly. I can understand that. I don't necessarily know if I agree with it, but it is a business, and that ride was made to, push people through a magical land, and if it's not running, then we're not doing business.
Sure.
And both could be true. Is the ride safe? Is this a little bit disrespectful to the family?
Yes.
It's like,
you're right.
both could be true. So talking about things that happened over the weekend, you brought up the Mount Everest. Apparently a blizzard came through and trapped a lot of people on Everest, and there's a current rescue right now, and the last I saw was 200 people are still up there, and they're trying to get people down from
when they were trying to get people down, it hit
higher base camp.
It hit 1,400 people. It was because they were saying thousands, which this morning, and Ross read the same headline. I was like, oh my God. So they've been doing this for a minute.
Yeah.
They're using oxen and all kinds of like the Sherpa style anything that you think of like the stereotypical Sherpa animals. They're using whatever they can to get like gear and people down the mountain, and there's severe hypothermia is like a real thing. But I think yesterday they got a couple hundred people down, and they're trying again. Would you say there's 200 left?
I guess there, as of this morning, the last article I saw, there's 200 people up there. But what do you see, Ross?
Yeah, at least one hiker has died. More than 200 are still stranded on Everest's eastern slopes in Tibet.
So we all know, and
they've got 350 down.
Have seen documentaries on Everest. We've seen the stories over the past 10 years about the lines trying to get to the summit of Everest, and how much it's turned into a business, and how so many people have turned this into a business that it's created trash on Everest and like long lines and like the tourism aspect of it.
The lower level base camps have become, that's why they were quoting thousands, because I asked I did multiple research on how many visitors do you think go every year?
Oh, there's people that now just go to like base camp 1 just to say they went to the base camp, not even to the top.
Do you know how many people went last year?
How many?
Over 100,000 people.
What? That's crazy.
Over 100. I was like, well, then you're running a Disney World there, because over, and I double checked that, and they're like the lowest.
Especially with the Instagram, like imagine like I'm base camp at Everest just for the picture with the colorful flags on the boat.
I did real numbers on this too, because
I
knew you would ask. Check this out. The only thing that stopped it, it's been on a steady uptick because of Instagram. This is all via AI, but because of Instagram, because of TikTok and everything, Everest has been on a steady stream of like becoming like one of the most visited places in the world. And what's very interesting is in 2015 there was a huge avalanche.
Okay.
And it killed like, I want to say like 50 people. And it only dipped for a couple of months. Like there were people scared. They didn't want to go up anymore. The frame of it, the fear rules everything around me. It only literally stopped its meteoric rise for a couple of months. Right now, it's back to hitting records. I mean, they can't stop people from going there.
Although that's legitimate fear.
Yeah, that is real fear.
Die there.
But these people were like, it only dipped for a little bit, and the lowest it ever got to was 70,000 people.
Holy cow.
So with the dip, it was still 70,000 people decided to go visit at least Base Camp 1.
Yeah, and then I'm sure like the smaller percentage, way smaller, is like actually summit Everest. And I know there's like maybe 2 times a year that the weather's nice enough.
Well, there's finite permits too. true. China only gives out 70,
Nepal.
And then they give out 500. So this year it was like 570 permits, I guess, were given out, which is a record, by the way. That's
to get to the summit.
Correct.
To attempt to get to the summit.
Correct, and you have to have a permit to do that.
And because of changes, I read too that there used to be this, I guess the final obstacle to get to the summit. I forgot what it was called.
The Hillary Step.
The Hillary Step it has, because of weather and changes in topography,
It used to be like a little cliff you had to climb up and kind of go across.
And now it's just like a 45-degree little hill.
Ramp.
A ramp that you walk up. So it's easier than ever to
grind
do
it down.
But there's still like frozen dead climbers up there.
Oh, yeah.
And you see, and now because of influencers, like you said, it's become super popular to even go to some of the base camps and visit
Who's
Everest.
the most famous person frozen up there, you wonder?
I don't know.
Sir Edmund Hillary never made it back down, so you got to figure him.
Yeah.
There's got to be some famous names up there, like adventurers.
There was an influencer and famous backcountry skier, there was Swedish, that climbed with no oxygen and skied down the other side of it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's pretty crazy impressive. And by the way,
that's wild.
They show him skiing down, and I'm not sure how, they must have filmed him with a drone or something, because he was by himself. But what he was skiing on would look like the most dangerous terrain, but because
just straight ice.
Well, it was just like cliffs on both sides and snow, but it's like it wasn't really like he's like shredding it, because there's only small areas to ski straight, and then you have to go down a little. It's like very technical. But I'm looking at him like, my God, this guy climbed up with skis and then skied down the other side of it. That's crazy.
Well,
no oxygen.
Not to piggyback on, we did a story on our Friday Free Show about vacationers that were touristing and watching elephants and the elephants charge.
Yeah.
Not to say that everything's going crazy, but they are saying that this particular blizzard that's happening, like, they never get that. This is because of climate change and because of, like crazy weather. But what was interesting...
it's unpredictable as well, too. They say Everest is the most unpredictable weather.
Yeah, they also said they interviewed a couple people that they're hobbyist mountaineers, right? Like just getting into it.
Yeah.
So they are actually climbing, but they're not going to the tippy top. But they're like real climbers.
Yeah, they go to like base camp 2
or 3
at the most, or what. I don't know if it goes up or
So
down.
they interviewed these guys, and they were saying that what was weird is that like they're camping, and then like you'd wake up, and then the next, like, you're literally like 3 feet of snow covering you. Like you're covered, and
or
you can't even move.
Your tent is totally covered.
Just demolishes your tent, you know, just like because it's just so much snow.
Some people were saying that snow was so heavy they couldn't sleep.
Yeah,
it was like landing loudly enough to keep them awake or whatever.
Wow, yeah. So now let me ask you guys this. It feels, because of the tourism and because of all the documentaries and because of the lines to get to the summit, and we've all seen this over the past 10 years, like going to Everest or climbing Everest, it doesn't seem that impressive to me anymore. Right? Like if we had a person in here on the couch and like, they summited Mount Everest. Going to space is more rare.
Absolutely.
If they're deaf, then I'm impressed.
like I would interview them and talk about the experience, of course, but it doesn't seem like, this is a crazy feat that I can't even imagine. It's like, okay.
Well, you're used to it, right? It's been normalized.
You paid $50,000 to a company that got you up there with some like a bunch of Sherpas and oxygen, and like you're in good shape, but it's like not that impressive anymore.
You used to have to put together a whole expedition, load it onto a train, and then make it there, and then get up there. Now you can just buy a ticket and pretty much walk up.
Yeah, and then the Sherpas carry all your stuff, and they carry a bunch of oxygen bottles. Get your
you're fat.
You're huffing.
Yeah, you can say it. You can say it. This is a safe space.
I still think you have to be in really good shape to do it.
I don't see any heavy people do it.
I don't think you can.
I
do
only
it,
see like the guy.
Yeah,
you look at the guy and you're like, oh, yeah, you're the guy.
Yeah, but it would be me. That's like I started a couple sprint triathlons, and then I'm gonna train 2 years and then climb Everest. Like I could do it if I trained a year and then like high altitude train climbing, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And if I can do it, it's not that impressive at all.
If you got enough money, they will carry you to the top and let you take a selfie up there and then carry you back down.
Another thing I found out is that in 2015, when they did have that landslide or whatever that killed the people, that the Sherpas went on strike, and that they were like refusing to take people up. They kind of had enough, and they're like, "This is unsafe. We're not." You know, and I think
until
now,
they're like, we'll pay you double. They're like, all right, back to work.
Well, I think from what I was reading, I think the vibe that I'm getting is that like maybe the old timers Sherpas are out of the game, and that like the people that are kind of doing it now are like the new Sherpas that'll take
Gen Z
they'll take some
Sherpa.
money. Yeah, the Gen Z Sherpas will take money, but the old timers are like, this is unsafe.
Yeah. The old timers would pray to the mountain gods, and they're like, this is a part of tradition.
Yeah, this
and my
guy's
family
like,
heritage.
he's like, I left my vape down at base camp too. I'll go get it.
Yeah. The Gen Z Sherpa's like, listen, there are a bunch of rich people here. You're paying us triple what you. Then we'll get you rich guys, your clients up there.
There's a lot of those guys that live on and around the mountain now that just kind of full time go and pick trash up off the mountain.
Yeah,
so, like
yeah.
especially human waste, because like that's one of the you got to poop while you're up there, and there's nowhere for it to go, and it just freezes and stays there forever.
Yeah. And then the oxygen bottles and the trash, like. I remember
Corpses.
There was
literally just corpses everywhere.
I would probably go defecate on the corpses
And-
to cover them up.
Also, the only place you see those multicolored triangle flags.
Yeah.
that are like blue, red, yellow,
Yeah.
green. Like I don't
And
know.
they're flapping wildly fast.
I don't know. What are those flags for?
You know what? They're prayer flags. So like every flap of the flag is a prayer.
Oh, okay.
It's
He
a
doesn't believe in God. You're wasting your breath.
I mean, but you never see them except for Everest and other like
really
climbing,
windy places.
Yeah, religious places, windy religious places have prayer flags.
I don't like that the summit of Everest has like a bunch of garbage that people have left there because it
What do you want?
Right.
because it seems like
What do you want
a
there?
bunch of people. Have
What
been-
would be better?
nothing.
How about a statue of alligator from the
No.
Florida Gators?
It's just like you don't want like when you get to some place, it's supposed to be like the highest point on earth and like.
What do you want, a
very-
temple?
Like
You
a
want
trek to get to.
Yeah,
You
trek.
want a
to-
temple with some candles?
No, I just want I want no other evidence that hundreds and hundreds of people have already been here. Like I don't need a pile of trash.
Well, you said it yourself. It's not that unique.
No, I know,
it's
but
like-
I want to pretend it is.
You know what's more unique than Everest right now? Stardust Racers. I'm serious. It is.
Hold
Less
on.
people have been on Stardust Racers than have climbed Everest.
true.
That's a fact. And it's more dangerous.
No, not more
You
dangerous.
could argue that Stardust Racers.
No,
you
the-
could argue.
only one
Same
death.
level.
Yeah.
Same level of danger. Same level.
But when you get up there and it's just a naked like mountain peak in your dream, you get up there, there's nothing there. Do you want to leave something? Do you want to leave like a
know
little
Cadillac
Tom and
Pat
Dan
does.
flag or
Oh,
something?
yes, I do. Of course I do. Because I have to leave it so all the other people can be
What
like,
would you
oh,
leave?
Tom was already
That's
here.
everybody.
No.
What would you
no.
leave?
I was Tom was here.
Okay, that's good. Carve it into a tree.
Yeah.
Drunky the bear suit on a mannequin.
That's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then-
a vote, Dennis Van sign.
I also don't like the fact that once you're up there and then like the go-to move, and you see this a lot because there's a lot of videos of people, they get up there and their go-to move is to look around and be like, wow, highest place on earth, but it looks like the same as any other mountain. like there's
Yeah,
not
the
that
highest place does not look like the highest place.
Yeah, there's not much of a difference. I've stood on top of a mountain and looked around and seen a bunch of mountains. It's
Yeah.
about the same as Everest. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
you
if
can't
you
really
blind-
tell how high you are.
So what you're saying is, because you and I
Like,
did
I
this
want
in
it to be
Colorado.
like whoa, I'm
Like, if
not-
I fall off of this,
I want all the other mountains to be way lower and be like, whoa, this is the craziest thing, but it's all the
Perception doesn't work like that
You're
either.
just looking out as like a sea of other mountains. It's like,
But there are corpses and doo-doo everywhere.
yeah, that's the only.
That'll
difference.
remind
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
You're like,
yeah.
if I were up there, it would actually behoove you to get a photo with a corpse, not a photo on the top of the mountain, right?
That's frowned upon, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of the influencers don't even show. I think I read a story one time.
Is it like
about,
corpses everywhere, dude?
No, it's only they're not everywhere. They're like certain. They used to use them a certain like
Guideposts.
like a like hey,
There's
this-
like green shoes guy.
Yeah.
You go to green shoes guy and you make a right.
Yeah. But apparently, I guess other influencers have climbed Everest, and it's like frowned upon to film the corpses because they,
Probably frowned upon to take that green guy's shoes off too, huh?
In fact, I
Man, if you got those green shoes.
Yeah, what you do is you bring them home and you have somebody like make them look better, and then you return them to him. That's an influencer video. You take off the guy that died on Everest has green shoes. You send the Nike guy up there because you've all seen the Nike guy that restores Nikes.
Oh, yeah.
He goes up there, he pulls off green shoes Nikes, the boots. He flies them home to L.A. because he's based out of like Long Beach or something.
Yep.
He redoes the boots. It's spray paint.
The
crazy.
video of the cleaning them.
And he's like, phew, phew, phew. It's all super urban. He's making it look great. He paints them. He's like, yo, son, Yankees. And he finishes the shoes. Dodgers. I should have got Dodgers. And he flies them back to Everest, right? You got it, and you put them back on the guy. I'm telling you, that would be a $1 billion video. But I'm too tired to do these things. I'm just too tired to be. I would be the greatest influencer in the world. I'm just too tired.
And I guess there are, like, with mountaineering, there's harder, like, actual mountains to climb than Everest.
More technically difficult.
Are they more technically difficult?
Mm-hmm. It's just the tallest.
Yes, yeah. And I guess so it's one of those things where because it's not that hard, it lends itself to so many people that just throw money at it to be able to go up there, and now you're having these, Although with all that said, if I had like a bunch of money or whatever, I think, and I was traveling the world and I wanted to see I'd go to base camp.
You'd pop in.
I wouldn't train to climb it, but I would just go and just to see.
I want to get a photo near the flag. Those flappers, those prayer flappers.
Just because, like, all around Nepal and that area is beautiful, and there's other things to do.
Nepal.
So it's like while you're there, you could just pop into Base Camp Everest.
That's so weird to me. That's like driving to Disney from Kansas or something, and then just stopping at the Wawa outside the gates and being like, "All right, we did it." Like that's so.
But I think that's what people do.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just like because if you're already doing some excursions and traveling around Nepal, and then one of them's like, hey, one of the excursions will drive you up to the base camp 1 of Everest. Like,
I definitely do that.
And it's like, $800.
Why would I go to the top? There's 3 for $10 Everest T-shirts right here.
Yeah. It's just you're just popping in to get a picture. You're like, hey, I'm at Everest. That's cool.
It's kind of what we do on cruise ships in Mexico now, right? We're like, I'm here. All right, I'll be back on the boat.
Yeah. Carlos and Charlie's is not really Cancun, Mexico. It's like
that base camp Senor Frogs is lit.
What's the tallest mountain in North America?
Is it Rainier?
Is it Rainier?
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
It may be Mount Rainier. I know that I was gonna do.
What's the tallest hot mountain?
What
like not covered in snow and ice?
Yeah. You never see that, right? You never see somebody like we climb this mountain and they're all like in swimsuits and tank tops, like climbing a jungle mountain.
It's all cold once you get like even in Hawaii. That's what the most bizarre.
Once you get up there, it's just science.
Yeah, I mean it's 90 degrees at the bottom, and then you get up at the top is like 40 degrees,
crazy.
And just you're like whoa, like because like it's like flying in a plane.
Yeah,
like we're hot right now. You go up 20,000 feet. It's cold as hell up there. And it's like, give us that cold.
Tallest mountain in North America used to be named Mount McKinley, renamed Denali by the Obama administration, and then renamed Mount McKinley by Trump.
We're in name fights right now. We are, right? We're in a big name fight right now. We don't have the Secretary of Defense ananymore. It's Secretary of War.
Yeah.
You see that war? We have a Department of War now.
I'm mad we got off the Gulf of America. that was
more fun. That was more fun.
I had a whole bit written. I never got to do it. About I was going to rename a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. We moved on. The churn. The great churn.
It went too fast. I was like,
it's rapid fast right now. Did you hear about Mark Sanchez? What? Did you hear about this guy? He beat up an old man.
Got stabbed.
Did you guys ever? I'm sorry, Dan. Did you ever read Into Thin Air? That book by Krakauer.
Yeah,
it's really Tom. So this guy named John Krakauer. He's written a bunch of stuff. I forget what his other famous books are, but he's written a bunch of stuff.
That's really the biggie.
But he wrote this one called Into Thin Air, which is about this one particular season on Everest where like everything went wrong.
Okay, yeah.
And like people
I think there's a documentary about that too. Right?
I think I did a
movie.
magazine. This is like an excerpt where they serialized it into like a small amount
in like Outside Magazine or something like that.
Yeah, this is famous.
But so everything went wrong. But like my favorite part was people get caught at the top. People are like swept off the mountain. Like literally this storm blew up that they didn't see coming and just ransacked the mountain. But there's a certain point where like people were descending and one guy just couldn't go. He was just like I can't anymore. It's just too much. And so they were like, all right, see ya. And so everybody went down the mountain and left him up there to die, presumably. And so they get down to base camp, and like, I don't know, 6-8 hours later, he comes staggering into base camp like, I made it.
I remember talking about this.
so good.
Yeah. It was crazy. And then he had real bad frostbite and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And he described like almost dying, and then he's like, dying from hypothermia is not an easy sleep.
No. He said it was
like,
excruciating.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
like, it's bad.
Yeah, the way he described it was like you're on fire.
Yeah.
But I always imagine being like the people who left him, and then he comes in, and they're like, oh, hey, Charlie.
We thought you got burned alive by ice.
Yeah. And I know he probably is like, hey, this is what you're supposed to do. We talked about this. They had
Not
meetings.
me. I'm an
no.
emotional person. I'll never forgive you. I'm never
Oh,
forgiving
yeah.
you.
How could you?
I'll
For
never forgive you.
sure,
Yeah.
For sure. No, we would go like, I'd take you out to eat and just leave you at a restaurant. I would just be, yeah.
Yeah, like you were like, I obviously made it down. How certain were you I was gonna die? You couldn't have been that certain. I made it.
Why didn't you pump me up? All I needed was a pump up talk. And you gave me nothing. I came to you. I said, I can't go anymore. All you needed is, come on, buddy. You can do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
That's all I needed. You said nothing. You said, bye.
Yeah. I just needed a little pep talk.
pump up.
Yeah, slap my cheeks a little bit.
I do that with Maisie all the time.
Sure.
Sometimes she just literally needs like, oh, that's eat. Like sometimes with May, the key to her like being powerful is just dismissing it. She's like, oh, and I'm like, it's nothing. And I give her the it's nothing, and it works. It's like I dismiss it, so she dismisses it. I'm like,
Oh no! I'll be like, what's wrong? Are you okay? Have some ice on your forehead. No.
You want to get out of here?
Yeah. All right, we will be right back.